Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com and Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and in this video we're going to be making this little Valentine treat wrap, so let's get started. I have a piece of Primrose Petals cardstock that's cut at 8.5 by 3, and so you should be able to get 3 of these out of one sheet of cardstock. And we're going to do some scoring on our Simply Scored trimmer, and we're going to score on this long side at 1.5, and you want to move that cutting blade out of the way so you don't accidentally cut like I have sometimes. 1.5 by 5.5. I say by 5.5. It's 1.5 and 5.5. Okay, we can move this out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and fold on those score lines. Okay. Now I sized this so that you could fit one of those little bags of M&Ms for Valentine's or Skittles. Other little candy bars will fit in there as well, but it's the right width for those little bags, so try that. Okay, now I'm going to run some ribbon through here, but I need some little slits here in my folds. So what I'm going to do is just take my paper snips and just eyeball the center here and cut a little piece of the fold out of the center. Okay, see where I have that? And it doesn't really need to be that thick. You can just barely slice it like that. Okay, and a ribbon is going to thread through there. And so I'm using Pool Party seam binding ribbon, and I'm going to come through the top. And I like to leave my ribbon on the spool so that I don't have too much waste. You can do that in a lot of projects. If you had to measure this ribbon, I would go a good 15 to 18 inches just to be sure you had enough. And thread it through. Okay, and that's going to be through the center like that. And then this is going to come around the front. And I'm going to pull this up because I don't need that much. This is where you can save. I just want enough to tie a knot down here. So I'm going to pull this around and just trim off the spool. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I want to cover this front with a piece of designer paper. And so I'm using the More Amore Designer Series paper, the specialty paper from the spring catalog, and this is cut at 2 3/4 inch square. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Tombow Monomulti adhesive and glue it down on top of that ribbon. So let's just put a few dots. Sometimes I get in a hurry and I just do a line all the way around. That's not really necessary. You can save on your adhesive if you just put the little dots. It also helps if you just do the dots and it won't, squish out the sides and then you have a big mess. So try the little dots when you're using that Tombow. Okay, I'm going to center that there, and that's going to serve to hold that ribbon in place, okay? Alright, so now we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm using the Hearts of Flutter set from the spring catalog. It's really pretty. And I'm going to stamp this little scalloped lacy heart in Pool Party, and I'm going to stamp it onto Pool Party cardstock. And then what I'm going to do after I get all of these stamped is cut them with my coordinating framelits, the Hearts of Flutter framelits. Okay, there's my Pool Party heart, and then I want this little heart done in real red. So this is called tone on tone stamping because I'm using the same color ink on the coordinating cardstock, and you can see it shows up really pretty. And then I'm using the little pennant flagged piece and stamping that in Primrose Petals on Primrose Petals cardstock. Alright, I'm going to take these over to the Big Shot and cut those out. Okay, I wanted to show you how I did this framelit cutting in case you have not seen this yet. These are the coordinating framelits that go with the stamp set. I've already cut the scalloped heart and the pennant banner out, but I want to show you how I cut this little red heart. You have your standard platform on tab 2. It's all closed up. I have my one of the cutting plates, the cardstock, and then I'm going to center that framelit over the stamped image. And then I take a little post-it note and just go over and make sure I've got the sticky over the framelit and the cardstock and kind of rub it down like that. And that's to hold it in place so it doesn't slip and slide as you're running it through the cutter, and hopefully get a good cut around your stamped image. And then when you pull it out, you just pull the post-it off and it pops right out. See, really cute. Alright, okay, so we have our 3 stamped and cut pieces now, so I'm just going to adhere those together before I put them on the little treat wrap. And I'm just going to use a little dot of mono multi-glue, the Tombow, and put my red heart in the center there of the little pool party heart. And then I'm going to take my little pennant and put a couple of dots there and just position it behind. And I like using the Tombow liquid glue for things like this when I don't know how much I want hanging below. Like I have a little bit of leeway. I can adjust it and move it before it dries completely. So I want that to just center here and kind of come over the little ribbon. So that's going to work fine. And then I can go ahead and put some dots of glue there and adhere it to the front of the treat wrap. Okay, and then what you can do, it's like I have a little bag of Skittles. What I would do is put a little bit of snail adhesive in here or some glue dots to hold that in place. And that's especially if you're going to transport these, like if you're making several, if you're doing them for a class party at school or going to hand them out to your co-workers at work. You don't want all your little bags of candy sliding out in the transport, so that's better safe than sorry. Okay, and I just knot this, okay? I turned it to the side like this so I could get my knot, and then trim those edges of that ribbon and play with it until you get it to lay like you want. Like to come at an angle there, just like that. And there you have a really cute treat wrap, and I almost forgot the little finishing touch. Oh, okay, I'm going to take one of these little basic rhinestone jewels, pick it up with my paper piercer, and I like to just kind of put it right there, and see, just gives it that finishing touch. And you can add a sentiment if you want. I'm going to leave mine plain like that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that and you'll give it a try. If you have any questions, email me at lisa@inkinspirations.com. Visit my blog at www.inkinspirations.com, and be sure you're signed up for my mailing list so you can get my monthly newsletter. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.